Welcome back to your local circus. In today's video, Anissa continues her never-ending humiliation of IDubbbz. Local Hassan Orbiter Denims tried to expose Tectone and it backfired horribly. Hassan is now justifying setting cars on fire and is calling out Asmongold again, and a bunch of more stuff. Already subscribe or you gotta take a fucking class with IDubbbz. Become a professional watcher. Anyways, let's start with this tweet here. The H3 subreddit found the alleged gorgeous Gabe. Is this the trainer Anissa had a crush on? And we got an Instagram post of Anissa and we got this guy gorgeous Gabe and IDubbbz here. It's me and Ian's 1-year wedding anniversary. So basically, if you missed the last Anissa and IDubbbz episode, as revealed by IDubbbz's former boxing coach Mike, Anissa was apparently crushing on IDubbbz's boxing opponent Gabe here, being all flirty with him, as IDubbbz was actively getting his face punched in. In fact, Anissa just seems to love IDubbbz getting humiliated in general. So Anissa did this absolutely diabolical thing and put him in her 1-year wedding anniversary. Here's what people are saying: uploading your husband making a face like that next to your secret crush in an anniversary post is crazy. I feel like it's gonna culminate in her actually cheating on him or having gotten close in the past. Everything that comes out is so strange. I mean, I'm just saying she was in Hassan's house, alright? Now, we can't confirm anything, but just saying, IDubbbz is known for watching. How does he not understand this is absolute puck territory? Either he's getting off on it too, or she's a horrible human. Well, that's where you're wrong. It's both of that. IDubbbz is definitely getting off on it, and she's a horrible human. Holy shit, that woman hates Ian. Like, I know you guys are pointing this out, but I'm telling you, as a woman, you have absolutely no clue how much this loads him. It's not enough for her that she's in complete control of him like a dog. It's not even that he's a shell of his former self. No, she's obsessed with making sure everyone's embarrassed to say they ever thought Ian was funny or cool. She's fully embraced the psycho gene that most girls know not to harness. Now, anyways, IDubbbz is trying to pretend that he is unaffected by all this drama, even though he's been crashing out on Twitter and making videos about it as well. He posted this tweet, road trip, and it's basically an image of him like just outside this van in like the most stereotypical IDubbbz posture here. And honestly, I understand this. I had the same posture, probably even worse, that scoliosis type a couple years ago, because that's kind of what happens when you sit all day hunched over watching your screen or playing video games or whatever. IDubbbz, if you're watching this, there's a simple 3-step fix. Number 1, train your back muscles. This is usually the result of a weak back. Do some pull-ups. Best exercise ever. Second thing is, when you're sitting in the corner of the room, you know, watching the show, try to get up every 30 minutes to an hour, walk around. That way you reset your posture, get some blood flowing. I know you don't want to miss the show. Maybe grab some popcorn and, you know, eat it while walking around or something. And number 3, probably the most important, stop being a cuck soy boy. Now, this guy even asked Grok to fix his sad posture, and even Grok couldn't do it. Dude, this guy's just destined to be a puck. Not even AI has the power to change him. No, Anissa's in the van with her boyfriend. Ian got kicked out. What happened to you, man? Denims doesn't respect people with bad posture, Ian. Ian's on a road trip to search for that empathy he was talking about. They're really trying to pretend they're unaffected. I think that's actually called running away. Yeah, when you get caught stealing like 30% from your own charity, you tend to want to run away from all your problems. Now, turns out Anissa also has this pinned tweet of her boxing, right? Month 7 of me boxing, and here we got Gabe just like training her. And turns out it got community noted. IDubbbz's former boxing coach alleges unpaid bonuses, being fired for reminding Ian of his dad, and politely asking Anissa to take down this training video, which she still has up, so no respect for him. The dispute discussed in the H3 podcast also highlighted financial and management issues with Creator Clash. The internet is hilarious. That's why you watch the channel, baby. Now, Ethan also roasted IDubbbz for this. Basically, Anissa made this Twitter post: we made it to Alberta, celebrated with some Denny's. I have never ever been happier, guys. So here we have the pictures, looking actually quite nice, running away from your problems, the classic. And then we just got IDubbbz sitting there. What is that face, bro? Dude, if I ever had to designate the perfect puck expression, that right there is it. Nothing says I love watching from the chair across the room like this face right here. The face of a broken man. Ay, ay, ay. You can see on Ian's face, she's gonna use this pic to shame him further. Oh my god. Now, somebody named Lightsworn1 made a card about Anissa, the devil, creature, life-sucking parasitic demon. Anissa can only be played if Ian is in play. Whenever Anissa attacks, Ian attacks. If Ian is attacking something while Anissa, he's automatically forced to attack her target instead. No other creature other than Hassan and Anissa can consider Ian an allied creature. If Anissa is removed from the field, Ian gets a life save token, giving him +4/+4. Make that plus infinity. In fact, he gets reborn as a new human. Now, apparently, Anissa has also blocked Yeet, the account that frequently calls out Hassan. Ethan says flowers for my boy Yeet. And if you thought it couldn't get worse for IDubbbz, Leafy is back on Twitter. Oh my god. Now, if you're actually 12 years old and you don't follow the lore here, one of IDubbbz's most popular content cops was on Leafy is Here, who was the most popular commentary channel on YouTube. There's a period of time where he would upload like gameplay commentary videos and get like 4 million views a video. Leafy was this like super edgy guy. He was pretty funny, not gonna lie, but he also took it too far. Sometimes he used to, you know, make fun of kids and shit like that, you know, make fun of people's appearances, and now he's like completely unhinged or something, no filter basically. And basically IDubbbz called him out for some hypocrisy and stuff like that, and IDubbbz had some really good points in his video. And then fast forward years later, Leafy actually got banned on YouTube for something like criticizing Pokemon in like 3 videos. It's really weird what happened. Nobody actually knows the real reason, but that's what most people are theorizing. Now, I do remember actually watching those videos. I don't recall anything being too like extreme there, but maybe there was some off-platform behavior. But can you guys just imagine if Leafy dropped a video in IDubbbz today? That would be absolutely legendary. Unfortunately, I don't think he can because he is banned on YouTube. He could probably post on Twitter, but he's also kind of lost the plot now, so I don't know. But it would just be cinema if he actually just came back after all these years just to get revenge on IDubbbz. The final boss of Ian's humiliation ritual has finally awakened from his slumber. Now we got random side characters coming in. We got Billy Mitchell commenting on IDubbbz. I don't know much about this guy. Apparently he like cheated in video games like Donkey Kong, and he's not really liked that much by the community. Recently he had a situation with Carl Jobst where he was in the right, and that earned him some points back with the public. But whatever. What's important is that he's here to shit on IDubbbz. This IDubbbz guy can't catch a break. Every time I open this app, he's getting burned alive. I learned that IDubbbz took his wife's last name. He officially receives the stamp of disapproval from the king. IDubbbz could end all of this out by coming out as gay. I don't know if this guy even knows the reference to the I'm gay meme by IDubbbz, but whatever. Now Ethan did a skit about IDubbbz.
Remember one thing in your mind, a mantra, if you will, that will always give you comfort. Say to yourself, hey, at least I'm not IDubbbz. Thanks for watching, everybody.
No matter how dark it gets, just know that you don't have to wake up every day and be IDubbbz getting absolutely pucked and humiliated every single day of his life. Leafy responds, I thought they were friends. Well, a lot of things changed. Now, Hassan is once again going after Ethan. Ethan Klein announced that the H3 podcast is sponsored by Destiny co-host Dan Saltman's company, Redact. Now, from what I know, Redact is just like an extension that lets you delete your tweets and delete your like Reddit posts and stuff like that. Essentially, it helps to like wipe out really old tweets that you can be canceled for. So Hassan responds, the Israel lover who owns this social media monitoring company has openly talked about using the information clients send him to blackmail people. Guess Ethan can't go with the regular sponsors anymore, so he's doing this to buy his new Rolex. Says the grifting multimillionaire socialist, of course. Now, Ethan responded on Instagram, Israel lover, bro's hitting that 1920s Jim Crow type of racism. Let me formally apologize for being a capitalist, aka paying my employees a livable salary so they don't have to beg for rent money on stream like Frogan. P.S. Love the hat and shirt, and we got Rolex. Interesting, Hassan. Is Hassan a hypocrite, guys? No. Also, it is diabolical that Frogan is saying all the shit she does for free, bro. The amount of heat she's taken for this man is crazy. Well, to be fair, she does bring it upon herself with the American veterans deserve PTSD comment, but I imagine that's somewhat inspired by Hassan. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to the denim situation. Basically, Hassan orbiting moon number 4 has decided to leak DMs from Tectone. And apparently it was just him being a nice guy and reaching out to her, and apparently that's exposing him. Tectone and Denims are going at it on the timeline after she leaked DMs from January 2025 of him asking to play a game and hash out the beef. So Denims made this tweet, going to make a special exception and share these DMs with the public. Do with this info what you will. And here we have a DM from Tectone. Yo, you want to play Marvel Rivals sometime? I know we've had poor interactions in the past and we've both said pretty awful shit to one another, but I kind of don't want to hold grudges on people anymore. All good if not. Disgusting. Just despicable. How could he reach out and be nice? Holy shit. Cancel this guy. Guys, Denims leaked that I'm a reasonable, forgiving person before she started calling me a grapist. Am I cooked? Nux responds, didn't she build her career off defending grapists and denying grape? I'm confused. Is that supposed to make you look bad? Who knows what she's thinking? This chick's been telling lies so long that her telling the truth makes me look great. Now he followed up today and said, would you prefer Mario Kart World? It's so insane that this guy wants to extend the olive branch, bury the hatchet, and be nice, and apparently that is grounds to leak DMs and expose him. Wow, I wonder why people hate Denims. Keep in mind, same person who puts bounties on people,
30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear,
denies grapes happening when it's convenient.
I'm not gonna believe fucking Biden when he tells me that everybody's getting raped.
In new footage, Agam reveals that sexual assault and was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Supported the CPS call to Ethan's kids.
It's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get.
And also said children can't have trauma at 3 years old, so it doesn't matter what happens to them.
Age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old. You're not really forming memories at 3.
Right, so Denims responded, she's so obsessed with me and even reached out to play Fortnite with me. I expose his lies. Wow, this is what men get for trying to extend an olive branch? Sorry, I'm not interested in olive branches from people who abuse my friends and speak about women this way. Well, we do see later that you were a fan of his. You were in his chat routinely. Now, it turns out Ethan also called out Denims, saying, when Denims calls me a Destiny Orbiter, just remember. And then we got leaked DMs between Denims and Destiny. It really sucks that we didn't frick. Destiny says, you've still got part of the day left. You can do it, bud. Wait, are you actually serious? Question mark, I don't know. Are you guys not on good terms now? Not on good terms with who? Atlas. What? I wanted to F Atlas and you. Interesting. So apparently she wants Destiny's D in her mouth. Absolutely embarrassing and humiliating, my god. But this is a person who posts their naked pictures online on OnlyFans, so you can't really expect them to not be familiar with humiliation. Women will do anything for career advancement these days, and we just got Destiny there. This has got to be an edited picture, bro. This looks straight out of Attack on Titan, dude. Ethan is diabolical. Now, it turns out Tectone actually responded in a video, starting with some history between them.
So first of all, she has raided me about 3 times before I even knew her. She was frequent in my chat before I even knew her. I have some chat logs. Oh, and by the way, Denims, these are your logs, by the way. These are your logs after you raided me last year. Look at that. And the first thing that you want to talk about is STDs. Man, why don't we just go ahead and get our mind out of the gutter, huh? Why don't we get our mind out of the gutter?
Right, so she basically used to be a fan of him, so Tectone was basically telling the truth there. Then he says that he has no problem with her just generally making fun of him, but when she calls him a grapist, that's obviously what bothers him.
So Denims has been going in on me, calling me ugly, fat, bald, which I think are funny. She calls me loud, she calls me annoying, which I think are funny. But the words that I have a problem with is when she calls me a sexual predator. Calls me a sex pest, a predator, a rapist, an abuser.
I mean, that's fair. That's literally life-ruining stuff, so obviously he would be mad about that. Then he talks about when exactly she turned on him.
Anyways, Denims used to raid me a lot, was in my chat quite often. It was, you know what, it was all things pretty nice. But then the whole issue with my ex happened, and then all of a sudden she's now claiming that they were best friends when, Denims, I don't even believe that you two spoke before any of the controversy came out. And do you want to know why that is? That's because you don't care about victims of SA. You just want to find stories that you can weaponize.
Yeah, I mean, we already know that Denims doesn't care about victims of SA, considering she hears firsthand testimony from women getting raped and denies it ever happened, because it suits her politics and because it makes Hassan look bad. She obviously just wants to grift and be on the approved side here, and it just shows she's a massive hypocrite who doesn't care about victims and actually just wants to use these situations for her own benefit.
But I kinda don't want to hold grudges on people anymore. All good if not. What do we think, guys? Yeah, maniac behavior right there, right? Abusive behavior, right? I know, permaban. context of these DMs, the situation that I'm in of being lied about nonstop, it got to me. It did. I was in the hospital. The doctor said I was far too stressed and I needed to just handle my stress levels. So I said, you're right. This shit's getting way too crazy. I've been pretty ugly. I deserve a lot of the harassment that I'm getting. Other people have been pretty ugly towards me. Maybe it's not about content for them. Maybe it's actually just about doing the right thing. And I said, F it. Even though these people have f with me relentlessly over situations they don't understand, maybe I can bury the hatchet. I sent this DM to multiple people, by the way, attempting to just bury the hatchet because for me, you might call me a drama channel. I really have no interest in drama unless I feel like it's me doing the right thing.
Dude, that sounds like a completely normal and healthy thing to do. Like forgive, but don't forget, right? So when somebody wrongs you, you can process it, you can go through the emotions, and then later on when you're done with that, you sort of just forgive them and move on, right? There's no real point holding grudges because it's not good for you, it's not good for your soul. You probably want to take care of your mental health, and holding grudges probably just really damages you in the long run. So it's better to bury the hatchet in a situation like this. But I do think he should implement another rule, which is just straight up cut off toxic people, right? Because some people are too far gone, and I think IDubbbz is one of them. Like, there's no point extending the olive branch anymore because she has years before she will ever come to the realization that she was wrong about any of this. And why waste life on waiting for people to change when you can just spend it on people who are already good right now?
Once people understand that, once again, Pink was lying about what she did, this is going to make actual victims even harder to take seriously. And this is why women who make false allegations should be punished severely. Because, and IDubbbz, by the way, like I was willing to just actually tell you my side with proof. I wasn't even going to ask you to take my word for anything. I was actually going to say, fuck it. I was going to get rid of my paranoia. I was just going to say, hey, I will show you everything. I'll talk to you. I don't care. Because, dude, and this is once again, me probably being stupid. Maybe there's a part where IDubbbz isn't evil. Maybe she's just really fucking stupid. And maybe she's like actually not immune to reason.
I can never tell, honestly. People like Hassan or IDubbbz, are they just extremely stupid or just evil? Because it just flip-flops between that. I imagine Hassan's audience is like 50% stupid and 50% evil. But Hassan himself, I'm leaning towards evil now because I feel like he does understand the situations and he just decides to ignore all the facts and purposely push a narrative, openly supporting multiple terrorist orgs that knowingly do horrible shit, and he doesn't seem to care. That is straight up evil, right? Then he talks about how IDubbbz denies grapes and defends Hassan.
In case you guys don't know, there were actual rape victims that are documented, that there has been proof of. And do you want to see how IDubbbz talks about them when them being raped goes against their friend's story?
Family was murdered in front of her and she was kidnapped for 50 days and continually raped while being in captivity. Nothing to say? You're not going to fucking acknowledge what just happened?
I will acknowledge what just happened. This woman who you claim...
Oh, IDubbbz, you just sound so professional. Look at you. You're just so professional. You're handling this so well. Look at this. You're putting on my I'm serious now voice. If the person makes a good point, she ignores it entirely and continues letting the video play. Or she will laugh and say that it's untrue without providing any rebuttal up whatsoever besides a mere laugh. Then she will take any opportunity to pull up old clips of these people to try to make fun of their appearance or make fun of their looks. Completely unrelated jabs, nothing demonstrating the underlying issue with the supposed behavior that she's saying that they have. And then she will misrepresent the person's argument and argue points that were not discussed whatsoever.
I mean, that's a classic tactic from the IDubbbz and Hassan side. Just find any way to not address the actual argument. Go on long tangents, talk about random other shit. Just be completely unrelated, right? It's like this pathetic tactic from someone who can't actually defend their side with legitimate arguments. And if you remember, another Hassan orbiter, Mike from PA, was saying this exact same type of shit. Oh, don't bother engaging with the arguments. Just call Asmongold a cockroach lover. Say that he lives in filth. That way you don't have to engage any of his arguments critically.
Was continually raped in captivity, did not claim to have been raped.
Oh! And guys, she's talking so seriously. She's talking so genuinely. She must be right.
כל פעם שפגשתי מישהו היה לפחות מישהי או מישהו אחד שחוו התעללות מינית והתעללות פיזית. כמעט, כאילו חצי מהם.
In that interview, she says that at least half the hostages she spoke to said they were sexually assaulted. At no point did she claim that anything had happened to her, and to my knowledge so far, no hostages have given first-hand accounts of being sexually assaulted in captivity.
And then I remember I turned around. He was standing with his gun, and the gun was pointed out at me, and he was huffing and breathing heavily, and he had a face like a monster, like a beast, like this. So I stood up and held a blanket, a small blanket, to cover myself, and he came towards me, and then he dragged me to the bedroom.
No hostages have given first-hand accounts of being sexually assaulted in captivity.
Do you want to know why you're such a disgusting, pathetic, stupid retard, Denims? Because you don't care about any of these atrocities that have affected these victims of real instances of rape. You never cared. You want to know why? Because if you did, that would have made your daddy Hassan look bad. And oh man, you couldn't have that. You don't care about victims. You don't care about the stories. You only weaponize them to further your own career as well as your daddy's.
Dude, Denims is such a disgusting freak, bro. Such a fake piece of shit who likes to pretend like she's the good one. But I don't know, what sickens me is these people always say that they like care about people or whatever. Like, shut up, get off your damn high horse. You're a lying piece of trash and you only care about your own wallet, your own clout, and having your side being seen as the good guys.
Once again, she says this is me sexually assaulting her. She says this is sexual assault. Let's go ahead and read this. All right, here we go. Let's see what horrible thing I said. Denims talks about you. Dude, I only watch Denims clips offline. Yeah, with my pants off. Yeah, I can't watch those on stream. Yeah, it just shouldn't bother. You take offense to a very obvious joke when the first message you type in my chat is about STDs. I literally hook you up. I gave you a plug. I gave you a fucking plug, bro. And you're gonna hold that against me? Man, I probably made you at least $5,000 off that shit. The least you could do is say fucking thank you. OnlyFans detected, opinion rejected. Moving on. I didn't even want to bother with it.
Dude, the double standard is crazy. She's coming in your chat talking about shit like STDs, and then she pretends to be offended over an OnlyFans joke. She literally promotes that shit on Twitch, a 13+ website. If anybody's a weirdo, it's gotta be her. But this is what they'll do. They'll change the context of the situation to make you look extra weird or misogynistic or something like that when it's calling a spade here, you know? Moving on to some updates with Tectone's Twitch ban. Apparently they changed the ban from 14 days to 7 when it was 7 in the first place.
I see your appeal was accepted and you completed the SEP quiz. Your suspension will be reduced from 7 days, from 14. So you'll be unbanned on the 11th. Guys, it was only a 7-day ban. The ban wasn't 2 weeks. After the appeal that you can see right here, this is my ban before the appeal. It's been 7 days. It's always been 7 days.
Right, so Twitch was like, congrats, we shortened your ban to what it already was. Bro, Dan has gotta be smoking crack or doing this on purpose. I don't know what is happening at this point. The fact that Hassan still hasn't been banned is crazy. He's literally out in the streets now, blocking traffic, participating in riots. He's admitted the violent protesters are his own fans. Like, this guy should be banned. And I'm telling you, it might take 50 to 100 episodes, but this guy's going to jail. So anyways, Hassan called out Asmongold again, justifying cars being lit on fire.
But a lot of people worry about property damage for the sake of property damage. You know?
Why is it so hard to just say that setting a car on fire is bad?
What do you think he would post on Twitter if he came back to his Porsche on fire?
Exactly. This is the core of most of the luxury beliefs that fuel these protests. These people never have to live with the consequences of their own suicidal empathy.
There's good stuff happening on the protest side always. You only see the looting of Target. You don't see the redistribution of the goods that they took from Target back to the community.
Even if someone were to burn my fucking leased car, like I still have insurance.
It's okay because it's not my car and somebody else has to pay for it.
Well, I mean, look, at least he's being honest, right?
That's a far more preferable outcome. That's what I'm saying.
If somebody was at Hassan's house or on Hassan's property and Hassan didn't want him there, Hassan would be calling the police to have them get removed. It's okay if his car gets burned down because it's not his car. He's only leasing it. And also, he has insurance that's going to pay for it anyway. And this is the reason why it's okay to set cars
For
on
their
fire.
livelihood.
Bro said it's okay to burn the car because I'm rich and it's not even my car. Brother, how extreme do you have to be? Why can't you just admit one point, one little thing that makes you seem a little bit sane? Like, how easy would it be to say, hey guys, setting cars on fire is pretty bad. How about we just peacefully protest? You know, causing these massive fires is looking pretty bad. It doesn't make us look like reasonable people. It makes us look like violent extremists when we throw bricks off an overpass trying to hit police officers and potentially kill them. But no, he can't ever concede a single point. He has to continue endorsing any form of terrorism, even domestic terrorism, because that's who his fans are now. Now click this video or somebody lights your car on fire and Hassan laughs. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.